Thank you. Yeah, I my microphone was on. I muted it in OBS, and so I'm like, I'm talking. The light is solid and not blinking. Thank you for letting me know. So, what I was saying is that this game doesn't encapsulate or allow for Cthulhu to be a monster that you fight. Cthulhu doesn't have hit points. Cthulhu is not evil because the very nature of what it is can't be contained in a simple way. And so, what I wanted to present in Lady in Red and what we're seeing here with Alone Against the Dark is that we have the world that we know. We are a professor, a professional. We are a learned man. We were born in Germany. We learned several languages. We moved across the Atlantic to be an educator at Miskatonic University. And yet now we are finding out things that rock the very foundation of everything in our 53 years that we thought that we knew. And it's been a gradual descent, which is all the more unsettling because you don't get a clean break. It's a subtle realization that the whole time there's always been more to what's been going on. And with this introduction that I made to the Lady in Red, I hope that can convey through this lens something similar. Here we have actual factual newspaper articles and photos and political cartoons, things that happened during the time and during the place. These are real things. The oil curse on Osage Indians. This is a newspaper clipping, along with the very fantastic drawing up here of there's a specter in the oil. Because we have our ghost stories, we have our cautionary tales, often anthropomorphized in some way to make it more relatable. Enemies of the earth, Black Cloud engulfs Panhandle. All of these were things that are, mysterious. They're also irrefutable. But, of course, science can explain it. And yet the whole point for the Lady in Red was that there was more to the Dust Bowl than what it seemed. There's more to human actions than just... As much as we thought that Prohibition... here's the first photograph of the Oklahoma Draft Rebellion. In that montage, we saw a picture of the Tulsa race riots. As much as we think that our struggles and toils are victories and our tragedies as humans are that, in a game and in a story like Call of Cthulhu, we realize that things can always be much worse. That there's something that is far... It doesn't diminish the murders that took place over the oil lands that the Osage Indians at the time had owned, right? That's what a lot of these articles are focusing on. Because those are tragedies. Now that we have something we can relate to as humans, how can we go and really drive home this grander, broader, deeper, something that can't even be rationed, such as murders for land deeds. And that's where you have a lot of fun in telling a story through Call of Cthulhu. And, other games that have these horror mystery elements. That's the nature of cosmic horror or Eldritch Horror. In the first part of this as well, there are hints at what goes on. The whole thing is a timeline. I'm telling you the actual history of Oklahoma. As we come over here, what do we see? Oh, okay. It's some sort of, well, of course, here's the Hero Zone Presents. Very. And why did I choose this music? We see a transformation between the opening logo and this logo now. Let's get you into the mood. I don't know if any of you even saw the tendrils that were in the background. The dust kicks up. This is significant. This is, and look, they're blowing away. They're disintegrating. We have this. We have an effect of electricity that we've seen before. All right, something's going on. There's this weird molten ball in space. What could this be? A weird energy, a weird star. Some sort of like a mountain by a crater. There's that star again. This mountain erodes. And now we cut to a map. This one, an old map. A map of the Indian and Oklahoma territories. Okay, so I guess that was maybe like primeval Oklahoma? And we see the series of flags as they have evolved. A series of maps and events. We're moving forward in time. We started with something that wasn't known. Some sort of cosmic event. There was not even life on the planet when this happened. But now we see that we're teaming with it. There's these horses. Of course, this is when the Sooners are making the land race as well. Time is passing. Here's a battle. A very notorious battle that took place. We see that as we're approaching some kind of statehood. There's even this proposition to have two states, the state of Sequoia and then Oklahoma, that were here. What is this seal? Oh, interesting that there's a 5-pointed star. Where have we seen that before? Oh, well, so time passes. It's 1906. It's 1907. And we're now being signed into being an official state. Here we go. We did it. We're number 46. Here is now the Great Seal of the state of Oklahoma. Huh. Do these characters look familiar? We saw that somewhere. And what does this mean? Why a star? And what are these? Where might we have seen something like this before, too? There are patterns. Oh, okay. So these are the 5 great tribes of Oklahoma. And yet, there might be a little bit more. Oh. We saw that somewhere. Where did we see that symbol, if you even caught it the first time? And maybe you didn't. Time continues. Here's the capital. We're going into World War I. Can I mute music from the video? Do you mean in a VOD or something? What do you mean, Scannian? Or do you mean it as I play the clip? If that's what you mean, I can turn it down some. It's very loud? Okay. Hopefully this is a little bit better. Thank you for letting me know. It's now 1923, and there's a lot of natural resource, exploration and digging. Time is passing. This is the Tulsa race riots. These are human events, and are setting up. Oh, now we have a new flag, and it's about this time that we're meeting our investigators that will play. We go through, and then we come to the classic conspiracy board. These are the newspaper articles. Now, who made this board? I don't know. But this is introducing those themes. A little bit of everything here of the actual factual, the daily life. It's very tough to catch, especially because this is the 30 FPS. The 60 FPS version is a lot crisper. But if we look here, murder and sudden death have broken tribal peace since oil was discovered on Oklahoma reservation. White men indicted for killings. And if we come up here, there's the oil curse on Osage Indians. Epidemic of death, revenge of gods for reckless squandering of riches and departure from simple life of forefathers, says Chief Lookout. Now, are any of these articles important to what is happening in The Lady in Red? Not one of them directly. However, the themes that have been building and I've been showcasing, I've been dripping throughout this introduction, do come up, and they help to set the stage for what's going on. Daily life. There's 16 ounces of starch, by the way, if you need it, anyone. More struggle, not just between the native population and those settling the frontier of Oklahoma. This is even among those who've already come over to the U.S. And we're talking about organized labor. We're talking about the onset of the Great Depression. There's a lot of struggle and turmoil. There's a lot of people going after riches and sources, natural and otherwise. And it's also very, it might be difficult to tell. I put a pin here for a reason. But also, Camp Supply. This Supply is where the story took place. Well, most of it. As it was a little fort right outside that panhandle of Oklahoma that was a supply depot. That's where the state's very first insane asylum was built, and other things. But this is kind of a blink and you miss it. It's never anything that was singularly... It was never singularly important, though much like in Call of Cthulhu, if you pay attention and you're putting clues together, you go, huh, all right. Everything you're seeing, I made in this collage has a purpose. It is there. Why did I choose these photos? Why did I choose... Oh, wait a minute. What was that? I thought we were scanning across a conspiracy board, maybe in an office somewhere. Why is it just outside the boundaries of what we know? Are those stars? Now, clearly, I'm a poor video editor. This was a mistake. There was no reason for it. It was a blooper. Nothing. Yeah, I'll show you the investigator's scanning. So we follow this. There are those stars again. Also, here's an old picture of Fort Supply. The Ames Enterprise. You know what? There used to be there's a town in... It's now Ames. There's a town in Oklahoma called Ames. Now, it so happened to have a newspaper, and there's something about Oklahoma's governor. You know, what's going on there? Why Ames? Oh, there must be a reason, right? Clearly I have no idea what I was doing. Something about an amateur detective. Oh, well, weird. And then seemingly at the end of the line, after we go through, why does the dust blow, black cloud engulfs panhandle, you know, talking about these terrible natural disasters. Well, this is clearly science fiction here. I mean, just look at this weird drawing. The Oklahoma octopus, which, by the way, is a cryptid. It's a real legend, all right. If any of you enjoy cryptids, look up the Oklahoma octopus. Now, you're looking at the investigators. Here they are, Scanian. So Claudia O'Neill was played by Ivalon. Claudia O'Neill was a private detective. Then we had Dr. Crane, who is a psychologist at that insane asylum, played by Quingar. Then Fluffy Sheep was playing Henry Johnson, who is a flim-flam man, a scammer, selling lemon cars. Which is why his business title, I'll Take You for a Ride. And then lastly, Coffee Cat played Timothy Gibbs, who is a World War I veteran turned to a scholar, a life of peace to escape the war that he had gone through. Does that satisfy you, Scadian? So we have this big mix of elements. We have all of this that happened, and wouldn't you know, when we are pulling back, we see that there's something else outside the frame of what we were presented. There's something more, which in the second half, as this is symbolic of running a game of Call of Cthulhu, it's revealed. Let's take away the clutter. This is all human stuff. And by the way, the red string of fate really did see... Have we seen that somewhere before? Apparently that was there the whole time. But let's clear away the clutter. Let's clear away the conspiracy, the news, the advertisements, all this other stuff. In fact, let's even clear away our board. And what does this leave? This gorgeous photo of an Oklahoma night sky. But man, this sign, whatever this is lingering. No idea what it means, but apparently it's popped up now several times, all throughout prehistory and history. And presumably, this is now the present. And that star seemed to endure even after all the other stars have died out. Now, this is a very real map of Oklahoma, the Eye of Iulu. And this is now getting us, it's helping us to focus. We know there's a bunch of stuff. Okay, got it. We're in the mood. It's the mid-30s, and so what's going to happen? What are some things that we need to know? Well, still, I mean, here are some natural, here's a personification of a natural disaster. Uh-oh. Hi, Ravenstar. Raven, how are things over in your channel? I'll give you a quick shout out here. Were you surviving or killing tonight in Dead by Daylight? So, this is a real map of the time. It comes over, and this is to help us get to know our actual setting where our characters would take place. We see events throughout Oklahoma. We see, here's a friendly interaction, because for as much as there's strife, there's also peace and agreements. We see natural forces. There's that oil again. There's a bounty of crops. There's corn and wheat. As we scroll across here, here's some forts and battles. These are areas where the natives were living at the time. Seminole, Choctaw, Chickasaw. We can see the behaviors at the time, the wildlife. Apparently, there's some wild turkeys in the area. There's the first school right here. There's a memorial over here. The first white settlement over here. So this is even historical to our characters in the mid 1930s. And so we come up and we see, okay, there's this. Yep, of course. War and strife. Here's this symbol again, which is the Great Seal. I'm not saying that this is necessarily a great mystery, but I want to drive home a motif. I want to drive home a theme. Where have we seen this before, and what could it mean in a Call of Cthulhu sense? And then from here, where do we go? We're zooming in slowly down to Supply. Supply, Oklahoma. Where our adventure took place, mostly. It comes back to this place. This is key. Ravenstar was surviving, getting the last of my survivor adepts. Adepts are those like rankings or pips or rewards or something, Raven? So, built on all this history, we now come to a modern mental health care facility in Oklahoma in 1935, and our story takes place. And I hope that you all get to watch it. If you missed it originally, you can find it over on YouTube in the link I put up in chat. Yep, there's Starvation up here. And then Supply, which was on the border to the Panhandle. Pardon. So the turmoils took place, the mystery deepened, because we had a world that we knew. We knew, I mean, even though none of the players are from Oklahoma, as far as I know anyway, nor have they had ever been to Oklahoma, as far as I knew. The closest is Fluffy Sheep, because he lives in Western Ohio, otherwise known as Colorado. But there was enough to go on. We're starting in this small town here. Lots of government money is pouring into this place. So it's actually very developed, being for where it is. This isn't Oklahoma City. This isn't the big city, but it does have a lot going on for it. And we start with what we know, and over time, you hint at some paranormal. You hint at a little bit more. That's kind of weird. You discover, well, this person has been working on something the whole time, and then you go, well, I never considered that a machine like this could exist. And why? And what happened? Well, that's Woodward, though, not unless for some reason it started out as Nodeward. Woodward is the city that is the county seat of Woodward County. Now, it could have changed, because there is cities. In fact, Supply's a good example. Supply had a name change. It was Fort Supply, and it was just Supply. Ames, Oklahoma, didn't always used to be Ames. And in fact, Ames is known for something else, curiously enough, which that was something that I reserved for either you knew it, or if anyone was curious, they would look it up. Or in case anyone from Oklahoma was watching, you go, Ames, isn't that the... And you go, oh, that. I don't think any of my players ever realized why Ames was involved in... the game at all, and why it is that the the grand, everything culminated with a return to Ames, Oklahoma, and why the Lady in Red ended in Ames. And we're seeing, and so this was my presentation. I'm a literal who. I'm not a horror writer. I'm not a published author of horror or TTRPG stuff. But I want to present that any one of you out there can do this. And we're seeing a very good example with our playthrough of Alone Against the Dark. Yeah, you go, okay, I get it, Miskatonic, it's a spooky university in Arkham, Massachusetts. But all we did there is just go around town and we taught a language class. And then we went shopping. There was very little to no supernatural events that were taking place around us, other than we knew that our fellow researcher who got in trouble was into some kooky stuff. Well, I'll tell you, Scannion, you're very much not far off. And then when we get around to it here. So no context on anything else as either an afterword of the story or a final note. But I want to show you. I want to show you one more thing. This, and I'll turn the music back up because I won't speak over it, and I'll turn the video player larger. This was the conclusion to The Lady in Red. What does it mean? There's kind of not spoilers, despite this being the conclusion, because in part the mystery is going to be up to you, or if my players ever wanted to return to Oklahoma and play again. One moment while I bring this up. This will have a sudden noise. Because it goes like, why is there a flash of white? There's a sudden noise that accompanies it. So as a heads up, here we go. And also let's make this larger so hopefully you can enjoy just what the heck is going on here.
Have you ever looked up at the stars? Ooh. A heavenly matter, does it even matter? 'Cause it's just a matter of time till it's burned itself out, and our world will bound. You and the look on your face when I say something dumb. A sky full of blue in your eyes. Can a face be enough to keep us from burning out? 'Cause I don't wanna miss out on the wrinkled eyes and scary times that keep you awake in the night. I'll be
Oh my gosh. Thank you again. Oh my gosh. Sorry. So, as I'd been talking, boy, I'm a professional, everyone. The theme, it began or it ended where it began. And we went from immense horror of the final scenes to lesser, things that are supernatural, to comfortable, then to mundane and comfortable, a warm blanket, a notion. The song that we heard play in the introduction had lyrics the entire time. Those lyrics were there the entire time, whether you realize them or not. But often it's until it's too late do we find out the truth. These are all symbols over and over and over again that appear over the course of a story like this. We see the expanded, the flags that we saw, the great, the seal. Of course, we have the various tribes, oil, but other things that weren't brought up. The cattle passing through, Will Rogers, the Pioneer Woman statue, the monument that's there, and all of this now. We come to a very modern time because time continues to pass. And we see Oklahoma here, right smack dab in the middle. As much as, I'm sure there's people like, oh, Oklahoma, it's one of those flyover states. Why would anyone ever go to Oklahoma? Literally who, in modern parlance of internet terms? And yet, in this game, Oklahoma might as well be the center of the universe, of all of existence and creation. And it's something that we down here, that are but a pixel of light, don't comprehend. We don't appreciate. We may never, ever, ever, ever realize or know. All of these are themes that you can explore. It's not just, a scary space zombie, a flying octopus, blah, blah, blah. That's a part of it. That's the obvious. What's not obvious is the depth and the scale to which a game like this leaves you feeling expanded, smaller, maybe not necessarily diminished, though you could, but you find that there is a greater, grander scheme. And maybe by the end of the story, you're not as comfortable with what you thought you knew. I mean, so Scanian, you have a little bit of knowledge of Ames. There's probably people in Oklahoma who think, Ames, it's just some small podunk. I think maybe, how many people lived in Ames when I was researching this? Ames, Oklahoma. It has the population was 239 in the 2010 census. In the 2020 census, it looks like it's down to 193. 193 souls exist at the center of a cosmic point. Because also in the scheme of it, as much as supply was the focus, it was never about supply. As much as Cthulhu is the name of Call of Cthulhu, Cthulhu is never the point of these stories. For any of you who are curious, I will drop a link over here. You know, it's to Wikipedia. Never use Wikipedia as a primary source, etc., etc., etc. You've probably heard that before, but there you go, a quick and dirty link over to what Wikipedia says about Ames, Oklahoma. I hope that I presented the patterns, the storytelling, the themes that you can find in Call of Cthulhu. And I show this because I want this to be motivating. I want you to go, I can do this too. I can have a lot of fun with this. And combined with the fact that this whole game revolves around a percentile system, this is not some overly complex, you need 15 different dice and you need like a slide ruler and advanced algebra to play mind-bending horror of Call of Cthulhu. And you can go monster hunting. It could be as simple as kind of a monster of the week, and you can approach it that way. Though I hope that this was a good living example to showcase the game as we continue to make our way through what we have going on here. Well, apparently here's a goblin. Boy, can you imagine what the world would do if goblins were actually real? But as we continue to play through our Alone Against the Dark setup. Hi, Hero Dragon. Now, yeah, that's what Yulu wants you to do. Ignore Oklahoma and fly over. Because the more people who understand, can you imagine if more people had some sort of an awakening, a mental or spiritual or whatever awakening by realizing the truth? That would be dangerous. The best place to hide something is in plain sight. But if no one wants to look, it could be as obvious as you may want it to be. It could be there the entire time and everyone just thought that that's quaint, or that it's just some podunk town in the middle of flyover country USA. And that makes for the best and juiciest storytelling gardens to plant the seed of your story and to let your players nurture it and help guide it and develop it and grow it. Let's get over back to here. Because I want to go over with you all the review of what we've learned. So we started as a language professor at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. We started on September 1st of 1931. We received a telegram from a friend, a colleague of ours, who delves more into, the softer sciences, always chasing after some goofy theory, as he was arrested in Athens, Greece, on suspicion of stealing an artifact. He asked for our help. And so we, being very loyal to our friends, said, all right, we are going to go help. We went to the dean and said, if you don't let us go help our colleague, Professor Tibor Glier, we will resign. And the dean said, whoa, okay, not only can you do that, we'll pay for your expenses to get to Greece to help him. So we did a little bit of stuff in Arkham. We took a train to Boston, and then a train from Boston to New York City. We did a little bit more investigating in New York City while waiting for our ship to be able to leave port for Athens. Aboard the ship, we mostly had a good time. We played some shuffleboard, we made an oil painting, and we might have almost been close to being stabbed, but we managed to get away. Nothing happened. A weapon wasn't produced, but someone strange was following us around. Upon reaching Athens, we while waiting for the government offices to open the next day, we make our way to the Parthenon. And there, an unnatural shadow cast over the place, and we were attacked by what looked to be undead. They grabbed at us, we tried to escape, and we met a mysterious man on the road who gave us a gold ring that had a star with a small flame inside of it. And the man disappeared. And the next day, we were investigating, we're finding details about what happened, and we're learning a lot here. You can go into our Discord, !Discord, and read these clues as well. But a lot of this is pointing that our colleague was examining the Carpathos device. And we learned that it was sent from the National Museum in Athens to the museum in Cairo. And that this was bad, and our friend tried to stop that from happening. So it seems like he actually did, he originally stole the Carpathos device, was arrested for it, and then while in jail, he felt really bad about doing that, and he self-deleted in jail. You have that moral consciousness, and you feel so bad about stealing a device that you left a letter to your colleague because you knew he was on the way, emphatically saying, "This is very real. Please, please, please continue my work. This thing cannot get to Egypt." But I'm sure it was an accident. He slipped, fell, and the bed sheet happened to form the perfect shape and fixture. And, oh well, now his body's being shipped back to Miskatonic, and we took a train to Cairo. On the train, we had someone slip venomous asps into our private car. We were able to avoid the asps, though that did burn some of our luck. And we arrived in Cairo. We're still in Cairo. The very first night that we tried to stay there, we were waylaid at our hotel. We were stabbed by a short man with a knife, only to run into a taller man who accompanied him, who didn't seem real at all. Ethereal, but very otherworldly eyes under this hood. And that was our first bout with insanity. We almost died, but we were found, we were dragged to the hospital, and we recovered. And since then, we have been gathering more clues in Cairo, including collecting some rumors about a particular pyramid that is close by, and some other loose ends. Scannian was saying, that is why the preachers went to Tulsa. The Inquisition wanted them as a bulwark against Ulu. The FFA headquarters in Oklahoma City is there to really monitor certain activity. Yeah, right. It's not an unidentified flying object if it's identified, and a label identifying something technically identifies it, even if it's the wrong label. Acknowledging wink. Oh, I have an itchy eye. See? Scannian, it all makes sense. It's all connected together. We had our fortune told in the market. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a cult of Aten, or Aten, that we had read about. Hi, Sierra Echo, 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 Echo. Oh, Sierra pulled the comment. If you single-handedly defeat the next hostile monster or group of monsters you encounter, you gain 1 level. Well, there you go. So I'll tell you what, Sierra Echo. The next adventure you go on, I mean, it might tell you that you roll a disadvantage, but if you take disadvantage when you don't have to, or if you overcome it when it imposes it on you, you will get double the EXP reward for overcoming it single-handedly. Adverb ends in ly. Now let's go back and get our. Ooh, pardon me. Let's get our atmospheric music going. I know stuff. Beware of old bearded men with cats and lots of books. See, so Scannion, you're the old wise man at the end of the bar that everyone should talk to, especially if they're having a bad day, right? There, there you go. So if any of you are having one of those days, let Scannion be the old man at the end of the bar who dispenses sage advice to you. It may not be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. I think your bot likes number 14 tonight. Let's see. Only a 14 or greater can avoid it. It stops on a 14 or a 14. Well, then there you go. You ended up single-handedly defeating the gelatinous cube. And so instead of 400 experience, we're going to exclamation point add points Sierra Echo 800. Now, we did learn that perhaps there are undead things in this pyramid that we learned the secret entrance to. We are not equipped to go dungeon delving. That is absolutely going to require some specialized gear. But we know that the undead don't like fire, and that they don't like sunlight. We also know that we are not the best at fighting, and we're also not the best at sneaking. So what is this ultimately going to mean? Well, I don't know. I think we're going to find that out together. So this brings us up. We're currently at 44 sanity. It is the next day. So we could have healed back that one hit point for the night's rest, and we went to the marketplace to have breakfast. Every day we need at least 2 meals, and we need 8 hours of sleep. Otherwise, bad stuff starts to happen. So this is what I'm going to do. We had the introduction. We had that mood. We had that the themes. I'm going to get up and take just a 5-minute break. I'm going to refresh my my drinky poo here. And when we come back... that's not the right one. And when we come back, we are going to go back to the location. We're going to be in the Fuzira marketplace, and maybe we can catch some more rumors, or otherwise do some more investigating or purchase exploration supplies. And because we're going to need something if we want to explore this pyramid, including information. There's a lot more information we can learn at the university, and I don't think that we ended up There's some info at the museum. There were some hieroglyphics that we were having a devil of a time translating. We have a 50% chance to translate hieroglyphics, and we were just not doing it. So maybe we need to go to the Cairo Museum and finish that. There's some more things that we can study at the university, visit the library, and we move forward from there. But ultimately, the place where we know that the secret entrance is to is the Tel El Amarna Pyramid. So I will be right back. Hold on tight, everyone. Refresh yourself if you have to. And we're going to pick up our adventure in Alone Against the Dark.